What's good, YouTube? We are back again with another video. And in today's video, we have for you the Jordans that Michael Jordan wore during his first three-peat. So we're taking the 1990-91 season, and we're going all the way to the 1993 season, where he would get his third championship in defeating the Phoenix Suns, which was a crazy feat at the time. Other than Bill Russell, no other all-time great has done this accomplishment. It was something historic for sure, right? So real quick, I always try to have a Jordan jersey posted in these videos because it's just nice to have something Mike, right? I also have my little helper here. Usually my children will barge in and try to help me as well. So you may see them in this video, you may not. But for now, we're going to have little MJ. This is my little Penny's version of little MJ. So he's going to chill and show us some of the sneakers as well. So in my first video, and I will put a link somewhere so you guys can see that, I went from 1985 all the way up until 1990. And I stopped at 1990, right? I stopped at the 89-90 season. So now I'm picking it up from the 90-91 season. And we're going to pretty much go through every single Jordan that he wore on court. From what I'm seeing, he wore 12 different Jordans, which is pretty cool, during these 3 years. And we have a couple of exclusives for the All-Star game, so that's nice as well. But let me show you the first sneaker he would wear. So this is 1990-1991, the beginning of that season, which is his championship year, right? He would rock the fire red with the 23 embroidered on the side. So it's interesting because we all know he won the championship in the Jordan 6, but he actually rocked the Jordan 5 during that season. Is this considered a championship shoe? You guys tell me, right? You guys can debate down below on whether you considered the Jordan 5 a championship sneaker. He did wear this in the 1990-91 season. This is, again, the black tongue version. I showed you the silver tongue version. He also had a version in which he wore 23 on the side of that one as well. But these released with the 23 on the side, retail back in 1990. So this is how it came. This is how they retroed. Pretty dope, man, because you could see the drop shadow on the 23, which I think is a really nice look. I mean, this is a definite Bulls colorway. It's basically black, red, and white. So Scream Chicago Bulls, of course, would go perfect with the jersey. But this is what he would wear. So this is the first sneaker that he's rocking. MJ, just, show that one. And then we get to the 1991 All-Star game. And he would rock the black and infrared. Now, I do have the version with the Nike Air on the back. But for this one, because it's just simple to grab them out of the drop boxes, this is the one I'm going to show you. This is actually the 2014 version. Believe it or not, I actually think the materials on the 2014 are a little bit better. The pink is a little bit off, a little bit slightly on the lighter side, but really not that far off from what he actually wore. So if you compare this to the newest version, the Nike Air version, which has an actual infrared, which is closer to what he wore in 1990, these are not too far off, but they are a shade off. These also have a reflective in the perforations, so that's pretty cool. And then these were modeled after his Porsche, I believe 911, with the spoiler on the back. So that was the inspiration behind the sneaker. But this is something that he would wear during the All-Star game, right? So the All-Star game took place in Charlotte, I believe, and he would bring out the black and infrared Jordan 6, right? And then we get to the second half of the season, and he would rock the white and infrared. Now, this is one sneaker out of all the original Nike Air Jordans that we haven't seen come back with the Nike Air. Hopefully we can. Again, this came out in the 2014 era. And also, the pink is a little bit more on the lighter side, so maybe we can get a more true version of the infrared, which would really be nice. But this is what he would rock for the remainder of that season. Now, the funny or the weird thing is that the first half of the season is usually longer. So it goes from, let's say, October to February. And then the second half of the season is usually shorter. So unfortunately, you'll see less highlights in these than you probably would of these. And same thing that goes to any sneaker that he would wear on the first half of the season. You'll probably see more highlights in those versus highlights of him rocking the sneaker that he was wearing in the second half. So this is another beauty. Again, I would love for these to retro, come back out again. I actually need to wear these for whatever reason. They are at the bottom of my drop boxes, and I never got to wear these. So my bad, right? I hopefully don't put them on and start falling apart. We definitely don't want that. But I need to take these out for a spin, man, because these are kind of sweet to wear in the summertime. I think these will be dope, right? So that is the 1990-1991 season. And then we'll go back to the black and infrared that he would wear during the playoffs. And then he would get his first championship in, right? So we beat Magic Johnson and the Lakers in 1991 finals. They won in 5 games. They pretty much dominated. They did lose the first game at home, but they just got the nerves out. They got the kinks out, and that was that, man. This was the first chip of 6, and he would rock this black and infrared, right? So we have this season in the bag. It's in the books. And then we come out with the second season. This is the repeat season now. 1991-92. He would celebrate his championship in the Carmine 6. Now, we just recently got a more updated version of it with the Nike Air on the back, and it's super beautiful. Although some pairs did come with more of a pinkish U midsole, but it's all good. But this is a fan favorite. This is my favorite Jordan 6 of all time. I know a lot of people love the black and infrared, but this is Chicago Bulls. This is Michael Jordan. This is that era. This is just my favorite 6 without a doubt, right? So he would rock this in the first half of the 1991-92 season, right? So that's the first sneaker he would rock. And then we will go to the 1992 All-Star Game, and he would exclusively rock the Bordeaux 7. It's a new model, new colorway that he would debut during the All-Star Game in 1992. If you guys don't know, the 1992 All-Star Game also reintroduced Magic Johnson, who obviously stepped away from the game from his situation. So it was a very memorable All-Star Game. In fact, Magic Johnson won MVP, but the Bordeaux 7 was a part of that game, so it was a part of history as well, right? So now we move on to the second half of the season, and we go to what is my favorite Jordan 7 of all time. It's the Jordan Hair. He would rock this for the second half of the season. Kind of Bulls color. I mean, you do get the whites and reds, but the silver just super beautiful. The way the gray just hits with the white and silver. Definitely one of my favorite pairs. Of course, if you guys know what made this famous was this model, and then we'll talk about the next model. But these are the 2 models that were associated with Bugs Bunny. So that was super dope. Very memorable, those commercials. I mean, Mike had amazing commercials, from the Spike Lee to these commercials to when he came back from retirement. But this is the Jordan 7 Hairs beauty. Beautiful sneaker. So he would rock this for the end of the 1992 season. And then in the playoffs, he would rock the Jordan 7 playoff. A lot of people call these Raptors, but the Raptors weren't even a team in the NBA. I'm sure they were a thought, but they weren't a team. They came into the league, I believe, in the 95 season. And this is 1992. The purples and reds definitely hit off beautifully. And he would rock this in the 1992 playoffs. He would sprain his ankle a lot in these. If you guys ever see any highlights of the 1992 playoffs, in fact, go check out the finals games. They're some of the best games Michael Jordan would play. And he was probably playing against the second best shooting guard at the time, being Clyde Drexler. So if you guys ever want to see Mike at his best against the best, there was without a doubt Clyde Drexler was the second best. In fact, he was the second in MVP that year. Just a little bit of knowledge real quick when he was wearing this and all of that. But this is where he would get his repeat. They would actually win in Game 6 at home. So they were able to celebrate at home. And Mike had a terrible Game 6 to start off. And actually the bench is what brought them back. Scottie Pippen and the rest of those guys. And then Michael Jordan came in for the fourth quarter. I believe he had like 12 points in the fourth quarter. And he was able to kind of seal the deal. But he played poorly in Game 6. And like anything else, it's sometimes about your team picking you up. And Mike and the Bulls were able to finish off the Blazers to get their second championship in this sneaker right here, right? So, beauty of a sneaker. This ends the repeat. This ends the repeat. And now we go to the three-peat, right? Matter of fact, before I even get there, right, this is important too, because my favorite Michael Jordan video is Michael Jordan Airtime. And during that summer, He would actually be playing in the Olympics, in the Olympic game. The Dream Team was formed, probably the greatest team ever assembled, at least at that time. You want to make an argument, the 2008 and the 2012, that's, very debatable for sure, especially if you take them for the players at that time, because Larry Bird was kind of on his way out during the Dream Team. Magic Johnson was kind of on his way out. But the other players were in their prime, so that would have been really interesting as well. But he would rock, for the first time, a non-Bulls colorway, officially a Jordan Olympic. This would, of course, be USA team colors, and he would even hone his number 9 that he would rock as an Olympian. So this is, to me, one of the better Jordan 7s as well. It's always a toss-up between this one and the hair that are probably my favorite. But because this was like something we'd never seen before, Mike just rocking completely different colors, and the way they hit everything off perfectly, and the way this matched with the jersey, it matches with both jerseys crazy. So this is super special as well. But he would finish off his repeat with his second Olympic gold medal. So that was super awesome as well, right? And now we get to the last season. This is the 1992-93 season. This is the three-peat year. And he would start off the gate with the Cardinal 7. And this is a Bulls colorway as well. You do have hints of like a gold. And then you have this Cardinal red, which is a little bit of a different red than your usual Bulls red, your varsity reds, your, you can name all the reds that they use on Nike sneakers. So this one's a little bit darker, still much a very Bulls colorway. And he would rock this for the beginning of 1992-93 season. His best moments in these was 62 points against a young Shaq, young Shaquille O'Neal. He would drop 62 on the Magic in these, so that was pretty dope. And then we get to the 1993 All-Star Game. He would rock the Aqua 8s, and now you bring this huge strap, and maybe it was for ankle support. Jordan 7, he would sprain his ankle a lot in, so maybe they wanted to give him a lot more support, and that was the purpose of the Jordan 8. But this was the Aqua 8 that he would exclusively wear in the 1993 All-Star Game that took place in Utah, Salt Lake City. So this was a dope colorway. Of course, this gives Charlotte Hornet vibes. I think at the time, Charlotte Hornet was actually a team in the NBA at this moment. So probably a little homage to his North Carolina NBA team. So this is the 1993 All-Star Game. He would rock the Aqua 8s. And then he would come back in the regular season and he would rock a Bulls Jordan 8, Bulls colorway, the original hair 8. Again, this was another model in which you would see Bugs Bunny wear. Very close ties to the Looney Tunes thing. This is what he would rock at the end of the 1992-93 season. Of course, the playoffs start. And what's probably my favorite 8 is the Jordan 8 playoffs. It's coming back again this year. Hopefully it comes back with the red pull tab. This came out with the black pull tab, and that's not how the original was. So that's unfortunate. I believe the 2007 model had the red pull tab, which is super beautiful. And believe it or not, although it's just a pull tab, that red pull tab just makes such a difference, knowing that's how it was originally. Plus, it just gives a nice look to the sneaker in general. But this is still a great looking sneaker, great model. And this is what he would wear all the teams he played against in the 1993 playoffs. And then, of course, they would be Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns in the 1993 finals. Right, this caps off the 1991 to 1993 Jordans that he rocked. Man, these are fun to do, man. I can't front. These are really fun to do. So my next video will definitely be the start of him coming back in 1995 when he came back with the 45 on. And then I'll work my way until 1998. And then I'll also do the Wizards years as well. Now with the Wizards years, he only wore 2 silhouettes. So he only wore Jordan 17 and 18, but he wore different models as well. So what I can do is try to gather up all the information that I have. He wore Jordan 11 Cool Grays, Jordan 9 Cool Grays, Jordan 3 Washington Wizards PE, and that's coming out very shortly. So maybe I'll wait for that pickup, and then I could do that video as well, right? So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me just show you really quick, the most I can at least. This may be a little bit difficult, but we'll try our best to get some of these in the thumbnail. But yeah, man, these are memories. Oh my God. Right? So these are the memories. Hope you guys enjoyed these videos. And on that note, we out.